Hey everyone, this is a quick rundown for how our homework folders will be looking this year. Your child's name will be on yours, and they were going to decorate this the first day of school to make it their own. And inside you're going to have a laminated sheet on the front that is our checklist. Typically it will be a Tuesday, Thursday thing, but since this week is a little different, I'm going to actually have a modified checklist that will be in front of the laminated one that will give just the homework for the first day. So on yours would be August 26th. This is getting sent home on the first day of school. On any other week where there's just one day, this would be the procedure, is I would put this on top, and then you can disregard the laminated checklist. So the first day of school you'll be doing this list, listen to reading. That just means anything audio, older sibling, or reading done by yourself. Find 5 words you know how to read from a favorite book and write them below. This is just a little thing that we're going to do a quick activity with during circle time the following day. Bring a picture from when you were an infant and or a toddler for our science unit, and math C tab. So I'll show you that in just a minute. But the format for the regular week will be spelling, word sort, a poetry/writing, fluency, listening to reading, and practicing reading, and then math. So we have something for each component of language arts, the math, and then on Class Dojo I will be providing information on what we're doing in social studies and science, and suggestions if you'd like to pursue or extend that learning at home. This would be the bulk of what I'm sending home, though, is in this binder. Excuse me. So let's start with spelling. The menu is over here tucked in, and we are going to be making spelling lists as a class, focusing on one chunk a week. Now our poetry and phonics sorts and fluency kind of all come from the same program, so they're going to be integrated. Many of them will incorporate the same word chunk. And you can make this easier or harder based on your child's needs. So to make it easier, you would just pick maybe 5 or 3 words to focus on. If you wanted to extend it or change any of these words to be multisyllabic, feel free to do any of that you need. The menu itself has several activities to choose from. So on Tuesday you'll choose one, and on Thursday you'll choose one. And then there's a parent tip on the back. So these eventually may be lists that they generate or that they write themselves. Right now I'm pre-printing, but we're still going to make the list as a class with word cards as a group. So it'll still be an activity that we do even though the words are printed in there, but we can change that as the year goes on, and I find that they're able to write their own words from the list on their own menu. The word sorts are found in this first tab, and after I do an assessment, I will send you a file to print, and the file will comprise these about 30 pages that you will print and put in this section. Each page is for 1 week. So the first sort is for week 1. And so the first day, you're going to take that first page and have your child cut the word sort cards, sort them with you or an older sibling, and store in a baggie. Now, the first section is just the word sort, but you'll find word sort activity choices in the second tab. So you'll have choices for Thursday or day 2 at home here in this section. So you'll have opportunity to choose different ways of sorting or focusing on those words. And then these are the word sort sheets. So they can use these as a template for putting their words into groups. And I will also send a file for you with additional information on lesson verbiage or things that you can say and do with these word sort cards to help them in their sorting. The main idea is that we are teaching children to be attentive to the details in the words. It helps them in decoding, it helps them in being very attentive to each part of the word. And so here you can see this is a 3-way sort, at, app, and add. So you'd want to get the the board with 3. See, that has 4. You want to get the 3 one, and that will provide the template for them to have these at the top, and then as they've cut these out, they can sort the cards and words in the correct category. So that is what we do here. So see how choose one option from word sort choice. Word sort choice is read each word to a parent. This can always be an older sibling too. You can delegate. Next one is pick one activity in poetry writing tab. Each week we will have a poem that we look at as a group that will also incorporate the word chunk that we're looking at for spelling. And we will be working on in class on reading this with fluency and talking about comprehension and the meaning of the poem. But at home, they can pick any of these activities, 1 per day, to do at home. So here's a visualization. Can I say that? Here they have pulled 5 sight words from each poem to focus on. So I highly recommend doing this each week. With maybe on Tuesday, you can always do the sight reading one, but this will focus on the ones that you can't really sound out too well. You just have to memorize, and activities to memorize those. Now, this is one of my favorite parts, is each week they're going to have an opportunity to have a graphic organizer and a book, a poem that they can make up themselves that extends the poem of that week. I would love to, I'm going to encourage the kids to do this at home so they can bring it back and make a class book out of that. So when we have choice time during class, they can go to that bucket and reread people's poems that they've come up with, and it will be really fun for them, I think. The graphic organizer is meant to organize their thoughts in preparation for the book sheet or their own poem. You do not need to send these back, but that is something that I will mention to the kids, is if they do it, they can bring it back and have it be part of a class book. Here's another activity. They can cut out the strips and put them in order. And then there are task cards back here, different ideas of things you can do with the poem. So each day they can pick one or more as they are interested from the poetry writing section. Fluency, you'll see you're doing day 2 and day 4. There's a tab here that says fluency. And this is another file that I'm going to email you to print once I've done the assessment for where your child's at, because they'll have their own set of fluency sheets that is just for them. And so I'll be doing day 1 with them in a small group. I'll work on day 1, and then day 2, you will do at home, so you'll just do the activities that will tell you what to do. And day 3 I'll do, and then day 4 you'll do on. And I have this little tab here that I thought we can move as we go. That way, since these aren't consumable, if we're in like week 10 and it's day 3, I will, we can keep that kind of out as a way to mark where we are. Okay, so that's the fluency. We talked about listening to reading, how this can be an audible book. It could be an older sibling, anything like that works well for that. Read level reader. So I have a leveled library. Sorry, let me say that again. Lending library. I have purchased a set of books that are all leveled, and I will be emailing you out a link to assess your child to see what level that we should start them on. This is a sample book, and when I put these in the binder, I'll write the title and the date that I'm sending that home. When they return them the next school day, I'll just check that off and send a new one home. If you want to be part of this program, I will probably have just an agreement to sign that just says if this is lost or damaged, that it will just be a small fee to replace the book, just like the library would. So this is nice because it tucks nicely in the back here. But I would encourage your child to read this to more than one person, if possible, 2 or 3 people, or stuffed animals or friends along the way. So there is online a set of lessons that go with these books. If you were interested, I can let you know where to purchase those. But we're going to pick books that are on their level or slightly easier, and I can kind of get feedback from you on how those are going at home. We can always adjust the level as needed. The last one is the math tab in the very back, and so this is the math homework for the first day they'll be home. You see there's 3 sets of cards, yellow, red, and orange. Those are in the zipper folder that I'm going to advise you buy with a supply checklist I'll be sending to you. If they have cards in here that I've cut and printed on colored paper, those are typically something that I will want to use again in the future, so if you don't mind keeping them in this zipper bag, we may be using them in future lessons. So if you can kind of not leave those at home quite yet. So they can choose any of these games to play for 20 minutes or more, and a little note here for you guys. Subsequent lessons or activities will be, following. So you'll have it like kind of a day 1 and a day 2 type of thing, and I will be sending home a list of suggested manipulatives that would help with the activities that we're going to be doing. There is an offer that Right Start has given for a discount and free shipping, so I'll be giving you the information on that. So if you have any questions at all about how I've organized this or how this is going to happen during the school year, please let me know. Again, when you first see this on the first day of school, you're going to have this kind of adjusted checklist that will not include some of the things we just went over, just because that first day I'm going to be doing a lot of the assessments that will tell us what sorts and what fluency they're going to be needing. So I can't wait to work with them, and I will talk to you soon.